Buy or sell? Tua has made his last start for the Dolphins. Feels like Sam went easy on this one.
If I could be that crazy guy, was it Jim Cramer? Buy. Yeah, there's no way he's playing for the Dolphins again. After he said that statement, there was no way in hell anyway. But once again, new coach, new GM. I don't know how they're going to do the cap hit. It's massive.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
New York Giants, they fired their head coach, Brian Daboll. Now, they did that during the season. Harbaugh is the favorite by a wide margin. Looking at Kalshi right now, Joe, 56% chance. 56 that he's the coach. The guy behind him is Kevin Stefanski at 25%. Is this look like it's just a Harbaugh spot? And if not, why is Harbaugh waiting until Monday? Does he want to see if something else opens up? But it looks like he's the heavy favorite and probably will get the job.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Aaron Rodgers' season and maybe career comes to an end. But I want to start by saying this. We always go to the losing team, it feels like, first sometimes. And I know we're going to spend a lot of time on Pittsburgh. But I think Houston's live, right, man? Like, I mean, if they're going to play that kind of defense next week, they're going to beat New England too.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
And welcome in. It is in-game live game day and a fabulous football Friday. That's right, the calm before the storm. 3 next days, 2 NFL, Saturday and Sunday. Then we have the college football championship on Monday. So we have that starting tomorrow. So tonight, the calm, as we say, before the storm. Still plenty to bet on through the next 2 hours or so. Scott Wetzel and Gabriel Morency until 10 p.m. Eastern time. We got college basketball. We got some NBA. We got some NHL. We got one of those greatest sports axioms of all time in play tonight. We'll get to that. And how about a rare underplay in the NBA? And we're going to try and buck the odds and go for a major upset tonight. We'll get to it all over the next 2 hours. First up, it's game time. What's betting you off tonight, Gabe?
Well, like a lot of people, the situation in Major League Baseball has come to a boiling point right now with a certain team that's just ruining the game. And we saw another big contract given out. And, you know, the New York Mets have gone too far. You've got the richest owner in baseball. You give big money to Bo Bichette. It's just not fair to the rest of the league. It's just not fair to the rest of the teams that a team would actually sign a player, right? I mean, I thought the Los Angeles Dodgers were the only team that were allowed to actually pay somebody. As the ludicrousness and the crying continues, the Dodgers aren't bad for baseball. The Pittsburgh Pirates are bad for baseball. The Detroit Tigers are bad for baseball. The Colorado Rockies are bad for baseball. The teams that don't try to win are bad for baseball, not the teams that want to win. And, oh, yeah, by the way, the Dodgers are ruining baseball thing. 25 million people watched Game 7 of the World Series last year. Their highest-rated World Series in like 40 years. So I think the whole ruin thing is kind of a little bit of an issue. But it's amazing to me the crying that goes on out there. Toronto Blue Jay fans are crying about the Dodgers now. The Toronto Blue Jays are owned by Rogers Corporation. I looked it up. They were literally like the seventh biggest company in the world. Okay? Yeah, the Jays can't afford anything, right? The Jays, I don't know, like 55%, 60% of Canadians pay Rogers monthly for cable or a cell phone, but they can't afford to sign players, right? They do sign players. Just stop bitching every time the Dodgers do it.
And I'll tell you what, Gabe, nothing for nothing. If you're a Mets fan, because I'm getting the same thing down here in New York with the Mets, I'd rather have Bo Bichette 3 years at $126 million than I would Kyle Tucker 4 years, $240. I think they're identical players. In fact, Bochette's got a much higher batting average. I mean, they did okay for themselves, all things considered. So, yeah, listen,
I think
you
the
need
Mets,
to have a villain.
pulled it off. The Mets pulled it
right?
off. I ripped Cohen last night after we got off the air. I took a pot shot. Hey, how's the smoke looking and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know what, though? Bichette was at the right place at the right time for the Mets. Because, Cohen was like, all right, we cannot come back empty-handed now. I just trolled myself with the Kyle Tucker stuff. And I don't disagree, Scott, as far as like, it's not like the Mets got an inferior player in Bo Bichette or anything like that. You got different players. They bring different things to your team, right? Kyle Tucker's not a mega superstar. He's a solid, everyday type of guy that doesn't talk, doesn't cause problems. Teams like him. He doesn't want the weight of the world on his shoulders. I think he liked that going to the Dodgers, right? He's got to perform for the money, but right, he's not. The weight of the shoulders aren't on him. But yeah, if you're a Met fan, guys, all things considered, you still have no pitching. But all things considering, Bo Bichette was a nice signing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, opening pickoff time. These are our initial plays. Still have plenty, obviously, more throughout the show, but this is where we're going to kind of plant our fork. I'll start college basketball. These games get basically right underway. Not a great schedule tonight, but you got some actually halfway decent games for the limited amount of games we have. I'm going to start with DePaul laying 3.5 at home against Marquette. It's really more of an anti-Marquette play than it is a pro-DePaul play. Marquette is just awful this year. I don't know what happened to them, but they finished 4th in the Big East last year, and they are just a shock of smart. I don't know what happened to him. He got dumb somewhere along the line. 6-12 are the Golden Warriors, whatever they're calling themselves these days. 0-5 on the road. Not only 0-5 on the road, their average margin of defeat is over 20 points a game. I mean, that's crazy. They give up so many points. They're 277th in points allowed, yet they're only 333rd. There's only about 370, NCAA teams in field goal percentage. So they're not scoring and they're giving up points. Hence, that's why they're 6-12. And their leading rebounder, Ben Gold, might not play tonight with an ankle injury. And if you want to top it all up, DePaul's going to throwback jerseys tonight. How about that? A little extra oomph in the crowd. Give me DePaul laying to 3.5. I think they get the win over their near state to state rivalries up in Wisconsin versus Chicago.
I like DePaul in this game as well, but I'll start off. I don't really think is it a rivalry like DePaul and Marquette? I guess like maybe to somebody, but give me Baylor. Actually, Baylor and Kansas are a rivalry. Baylor and Kansas, nationally televised Fox game of the week tonight. Now the football's done, Fox will kick in with their weekly basketball games. Anybody that's watched the Kansas Jayhawks team knows Kansas are good. They're better than their record is, and Peterson is starting to play, and he's starting to get into a rhythm, and he's a stud. They're really good, but they play a lot of close games. Let's call it out for what it is. Baylor have the talent to match them. Baylor coming off a 3-game losing streak, but they beat Oklahoma City on the road the other night. This is a fierce rivalry between these two teams. In fact, Baylor beaten them the last 2 times they played. Give me the 7.5 with the Baylor Bears on the road.
All right, I'll get to that one in a second. My second one, I'm going to grab Ohio laying 5.5 at Ball State. Ball State 4-13. We had one of these games last night. We didn't hit on it, but I'll go right back to the well. And Ball State is just awful. It's really, again, a more anti-Ball State thing. They're 323rd in shooting percentage. Hence, they're 336th in scoring. They can't score a lick. They're on a 1-7 against the spread run. Give me Ohio, which is at least 10-8, laying 5.5 on the road.
Yeah, we'll go with Baylor and Kansas over the number, but my other 2 picks are actually DePaul and Ohio as well. And we're down to it's down to 5 now for the Ohio Bobcats. Listen, Ball State are just bad. I told you the other night, don't be scared to lay points on the road in college basketball. It's not like Ball State have some sort of home court advantage or anything like that. Ball State are losing, but they're not really competitive when they lose. Like they're losing by 17, 18, 14, 12. And then you compound it with their series with the Ohio Bobcats. It hasn't ended well for them. Ohio have beaten Ball State 8 straight times, and they've covered every time. They're actually 8-0 straight up and 8-0 against the spread against Ball State. So you're laying 5. I'm never a fan of doing it. And as Scott mentioned, Marquette are bad right now. The wheels have fallen off for Marquette this year. Shaka Smart is a good coach. they don't have any money. Like, they don't have any NIL money. He hasn't embraced the transfer portal quickly enough, and they're falling behind quickly right now. But Marquette are bad guys. They're last in the Big East in free throw percentage. They're second worst in field goal percentage, and they're the worst in 3-point shooting percentage. You don't have to be Bill Rafferty to figure out that's not good. They don't do anything good. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they don't do anything good at all, this Marquette team. And DePaul aren't bad. DePaul are actually pretty scrappy this year, guys. They've been bad for so many years, Scott. Now they're actually pretty good. If you look at DePaul's schedule, like, DePaul are going to start to win some games now, guys. DePaul have already played UConn twice. All right, think about that. They already played UConn twice. They played Villanova. They played at St. John's. DePaul have played like a lot of their hardest games already. They're going to be able to rack up some wins moving forward. I think DePaul's going to have a nice year this year.
All right. My third one, I'm going to go Kansas laying 7. I'm going to go opposite of you, 7.5. I initially had Baylor, I must say, but then I started looking at the numbers a little closer. Baylor's 0-4 this year as an underdog. They're 6-16-2 against the spread their last 24 road games, and they're 1-22 their last 23 games at the Fieldhouse. They don't win in Kansas. I'll take my chances that Kansas actually gets the cover. We got a couple more we'll get to on the other side. In-game live game day on a fabulous Friday. Scott and Gabe, hour number 1, just underway.
The outlines for Koepka are fantastic. I think it's perfect. It is punitive, but it's fair. You've got to levy some sort of fine, so to speak, for defecting, and I think they've done a wonderful job of being equitable and punishing him a bit at the same time. I think Brooks ultimately wants to be playing with the best.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
New York Giants. They fired their head coach, Brian Daboll. Now, they did that during the season. Harbaugh is the favorite by a wide margin. Looking at Kalshi right now, Joe, 56% chance. 56 that he's the coach. The guy behind him is Kevin Stefanski at 25%. Does this look like it's just a Harbaugh spot? And if not, why is Harbaugh waiting until Monday? Does he want to see if something else opens up? But it looks like he's the heavy favorite and probably will get the job.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Memphis is shopping John Morant. Yeah, no kidding. They should have shopped him 2 years ago and got rid of him. The problem is, where does he go? Like, what team is going to sit there and deal with a dude who, A, has not been healthy or reliable both on the court or off the court? Like, who's trading for John Morant here, Coach?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid on this Friday evening. Scott Wetzel and Gabriel Morency for the next 2 hours. Just going over our opening pickoff. So we got a couple in already. I got DePaul laying 3.5 against Marquette. We got Ohio laying 5.5 against Ball State. And I'm going to grab Kansas laying the 7. I know they're on their way off to a good start. 9-1-1 against the spread are the Jayhawks at home, including that monster cover the other day. So those are my first 3. I know you're up next, Gabe. Who's your third pick?
I'm on the opposite side of Scott on the Baylor game. I'm on the over as well in this game. I think there's going to be some points. Kansas really aren't a big over team. They don't shoot the ball well, but they're playing at a quicker pace, it seems, on a game by game basis now. And we know Baylor just want to get after it, right? So so we took the over. I did take Baylor plus the 7.5. Like Scott, I'm on DePaul as well. We went the money line. It was down to 140 as well right now, guys. So it's a fair price instead of laying the 2.5, in my opinion. And Ohio, I generally don't lay points. I like we talked about it last night. I prefer to, last night I gave you the Spurs a favor, and they actually won easily. Tonight, Ohio. Like I said, Ball State are bad. They don't beat Ohio. Ohio own them 8-0. Ball State are just in a free fall right now. Ohio coming off a loss, too, to Toledo, who can actually light the lamp up as well. So I'm looking for a bounce-back spot for the Ohio Bobcats. And I did play some NBA games before we came on. I'm on the Raptors on the money line against the Clippers. I got the Raptors at minus 135. There's no Quickly. There's no R.J. Barrett for the Raptors tonight, so the game was almost a pick 'em. Yet there's no Kawhi Leonard for the Clippers. And I don't I try not to say things. And, listen, I used to do it, and I was confronted, and I've been around a long time, right? So I used to say things about players and get confronted in the hallway. Hey, I was listening to the show last night, and I heard you call me this, right? So I sort of learned, you try not to say things. It's true, Scott. You try not to say things that you wouldn't say to somebody's face. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I don't like the word coward, right? When I hear, oh, he's a coward, it's like, all right, you're just some dumbass host. Would you call this 6'7", 250-pound dude a coward to his face? But I'm not gonna use the word coward, but let's use the word lame ass, weak ass. Kawhi Leonard isn't playing tonight in Toronto, right? Dude, we all know you're healthy, right?
Yeah.
He won a championship there. He gets booed when he goes back, and he doesn't play there. He bypasses it. So
wow.
It's just, to me, the Clippers, every time, and I get the Clippers have won 11 of their last 13 games, right? The Clippers are on a roll. You're battling. Does he really need the night off? Really? Does he run the team that much? It's well, it always kind of bothers me when we play in Toronto. I won the championship there, and I left, so I don't like getting booed now. So you know what? How about I don't play in this game? Is he really hurt, Scott? So I don't want to use the word cowardly, but it's lame. He's lame. He's a great player, but the Clippers as a whole, it's hard to take them seriously, bro. How do you take a team seriously? It doesn't take every game seriously. That's the way I look at it.
If it bothers you that much, I mean, it's amazing he's a world champion, right? And a really good player. When he's healthy, it's as good as he gets in the NBA as far as overall scoring, rebounding, playing.
If he didn't get hurt much, Scott, as much, he was on pace to being one of the greatest players of all time.
All time. Yeah.
He's better than LeBron.
That's what he was.
I'll put it out. You want a hot take? He's better than LeBron James. He was.
Yeah.
Right? Dude, he did defense and offense, guys. He was a tear on the defensive side. And, he would drop 30 on you. Right? He developed that in Toronto. Right? In San Antonio, it wasn't the pure scorer guy. He really worked on his shot. But he's an awesome freaking player. But he literally is one of the strangest dudes ever to play in the history of sports.
Yeah.
If
he couldn't get along with Popovich, right? And Popovich is the biggest kiss ass. I'm not a big Popovich fan, right? But if you couldn't get along with him in San Antonio, then you have issues.
It's his uncle, just point blank.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
It's his uncle, Uncle Dennis.
It was
that's his name, Dennis.
Yeah.
Dennis Leonard. Dennis Leonard says. His dad was murdered. His dad was a hustler type dude, you know what I mean? And his dad got murdered in L.A. type thing. So when he was younger. So, so his uncle sort of became his guy, and they don't trust anybody, man. These guys, they don't trust anybody. They think everybody's out to get them. And as you stated, Scott, you look at the Spurs, such a unified organization. You know what I mean?
Right.
From Duncan, Robinson, Popovich, the generations of they're such a family type of team.
Yeah.
And you got one guy who actually sued them. Or you know what I mean? And the one guy that said that they wronged him and they screwed him up and they did the surgery wrong and they forced him to play too early and all this stuff. And then Tony Parker said, I had the exact same surgery he did, man. Right? It sucked, but I don't know what he's freaking out about. I had the same surgery. So, and then Scott, the real red flag was he sued Nike. He claimed that they stole his shoe design. It's like, really, dude? Your shoe design sucked, okay? like,
Yeah.
like,
I mean, it's a shoe.
whatever. Like,
How much
he
can you
signed a
design?
Nike deal and got out of it somehow. Like, he was like, you guys wronged me. And, like, he ended up with New Balance after. You know what I mean? Like, he wanted, when he was with the Raptors, it's no secret. Like, he told the Raptors he wanted a piece of the team. They told him they can't do that. Uncle Dennis wanted to own a part of the Raptors. They said, you're not legally allowed to do that. And anyways, we're not giving you a part of the team. And then he wanted a private plane, Scott. He wanted them to give him a plane. He said, a contract and the plane. And they said to him, what part of this don't get that we're not allowed giving you gifts? Well, Steve Ballmer evidently was, Scott. Right? Because he got the landscaping deal, $30 million. Kawhi Leonard's cutting grass,
deal.
guys. Like, why does Kawhi Leonard have a landscaping deal? Like, you know what I mean? And it turns out now Pablo Torres just digged up that Kawhi got a free condo as well out of this. A luxury unit that Ballmer owned. So, I believe all that stuff. Like, like he's... dude, if Kawhi Leonard was in college right now, Scott, he'd want like $20 million for NIL.
He would. He would, actually.
He'd be, I want a percentage of the university. I want merchandise.
I want a building to be built for me. You know,
I want the medical building to be renamed after me.
All right, we'll close up our opening pickoff. We haven't gotten to all of them, believe it or not, yet on the other side.
The outline for Koepka are fantastic. I think it's perfect. It is punitive, but it's fair. You've got to levy some sort of fine, so to speak, for defecting, and I think they've done a wonderful job of being equitable and punishing him a bit at the same time. I think Brooks ultimately wants to be playing with the best.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
New York Giants. They fired their head coach, Brian Daboll. Now, they did that during the season. Harbaugh is the favorite by a wide margin. Looking at Kalshi right now, Joe, 56% chance. 56 that he's the coach. The guy behind him is Kevin Stefanski at 25%. Is this look like it's just a Harbaugh spot? And if not, why is Harbaugh waiting until Monday? Does he want to see if something else opens up? But it looks like he's the heavy favorite and probably will get the job.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Memphis is shopping John Morant. Yeah, no kidding. They should have shopped him 2 years ago and got rid of him. The problem is, where does he go? Like, what team is going to sit there and deal with a dude who, A, has not been healthy or reliable both on the court or off the court? Like, who's trading for John Morant here, Coach?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back In-Game Live Game Day here on a kind of a calm Friday, right? We had a whole bunch of college basketball yesterday. We got the football coming up tomorrow. This is kind of just a BS Friday, which is taking us so long to get through our opening pickoff. We might set the record for the longest opening pickoff here. So let me get it done just so we get in before our guest, Nick Hamady, comes up in about 5 minutes. My last one, greatest sports axiom of all time. Winners bet with streaks, losers bet against streaks, folks. And that's Tampa Bay going for their franchise record 12th straight win tonight. They're in St. Louis to take on the Blues. Game is already underway, but there is no score, so the line is still the same. I tell you what, this Tampa Bay team, first week of the season, you thought, oh, my goodness, well, what happened? They started out 1-6 their first 7 games. They're 28-10 since, including 11 straight wins, best in the NHL road record. If you're wondering about them being on the road, they're 17-7, by far the best road record in the NHL. 7 straight road wins. I mean, it's 61 points, most in the Atlantic Division. And St. Louis really isn't that good. They did beat Carolina 3-0 their last game, but they still lost 3 of their last 4, and they're without their leading scorer, Robert Thomas, who's got a lower body injury, which could be anything in the NHL. So give me Tampa Bay. I'm going to play them in regulation. Pick them. It drops it all the way down from 2-1 to pick them to win in regulation, Gabe.
I agree with your pick. I like Tampa. I like Tampa as well. Scorching hot, this team. And in fact, Tampa was my prediction to win the Eastern Conference this year before the year started. Tampa Bay. So I'm not, and you know what? I kind of was a little bit distraught earlier that when they were stumbling early. I was like, wow, really, really thought this would be a different type of team this year in Tampa Bay, that they would really be on a mission, and they are right now. It just took a little while to click. One thing with Tampa, Scott, is they're a hard team to play for. Like, it's kind of like they're very, like, intelligent. So it sounds crazy to say, but it's almost like you've got to learn Cooper's playbook. Like, it's not just a plug and play thing. Like, they really play a system, and like there's responsibilities if you're going to play for John Cooper. And yeah, I think it just sort of took them a while. They sort of changed their style of play. They brought in some new guys and stuff, and now it's starting to click right now. Like, it's crazy, guys. If you think about it, Scott, there were some idiots in the hockey world out there online, and we're in a stupid world right now with fans and stuff. But people were talking about, should John Cooper get fired? Like, if you remember that, there was a little buzz. Yeah, Cooper's on the hot seat early. Cooper's on the hot seat. The guy's like the best coach in the NHL. He's on the hot seat. This guy, like, really? All right, you fired John Cooper. See how long, like, he's unemployed for. Forget about Harbaugh. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
5
Cooper,
minutes.
like, dude, put it this way, Scott. John Cooper's the head coach of Team Canada. You don't become the head coach of Team Canada in the Olympics if you're a loser, right? Like, it's just, well, I take that back. They weren't all geniuses. But what are your next picks? What do you got?
That's it. That's my final one as far as the opening pickup. DePaul, Ohio, Kansas, and Tampa Bay. You got another one?
You know what? I played the Raptors. We talked. We got a full slate of college hockey, which I'm upset I leave on the table at times, Scott. I like betting college hockey. So we got a fun, man.
I saw your guy, by the way. I saw your Michigan head coach do an interview on the 4-Letter Network today. He looks like he could be a player. And he's been here 4 years. Right? I mean, what is he? He looks like he's 25, for goodness sake. He's got a little beard and everything, but I thought like that was a player they were interviewing him. Like, no, he's the head coach. Like, yikes.
Michigan hockey, #1 team in the country right now. It's funny because it was supposed to be Penn State and Gavin McKenna and stuff, right? But just because you sign a bunch of guys, sort of like the Dodgers, like NIL, this and that. Yeah, McKenna's really good, but hockey's not as we talk about it. Like, you can be really good, but you can't change everything. You can't like change everything for a team, but yeah, still scoreless right now though, Scott, with the Blues and the Lightning. Right now, I tell you what though, here's a little angle. You like angles and stuff. Who's the goalie of the Blues? Jordan Bennington. Yeah. Who's the coach of like the Lightning? John Cooper. Jordan Bennington is the goalie for Team Canada.
Goalie for Team Canada,
except people don't want him to be the goalie of Team Canada. He's on the team, but people like he sucks. Like, people are like, dude, like, yet he plays well. Like, he played well in the Four Nations. Remember last year in the Four Nations? People were very fearful of this. They were like, dude, we cannot have Bennington. And Cooper said, I want Bennington. We're going to start Bennington. And because Cooper, whatever, likes him. He's won a cup. Cooper trusts him, blah, blah. I'm just saying, if there's ever a night, Scott, that Bennington wants to reinforce to his guy Cooper, who believes in him, I'm your guy to be the starter next month in the Olympics. Hell, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You know what I mean, Scott? He's going to want to say, I'm good. I'm your starter. Don't listen to the outside noise. You see, I just beat your team, Tampa Bay. Little angle right there.
I like that. You know what? If anything, the under then. You can't pull the trigger on St. Louis.
Think about that.
I like it. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice.
they outlined for Koepka are fantastic. I think it's perfect. It is punitive, but it's fair. You've got to levy some sort of fine, so to speak, for defecting, and I think they've done a wonderful job of being equitable and punishing him a bit at the same time. I think Brooks ultimately wants to be playing with the best.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
New York Giants. They fired their head coach, Brian Daboll. Now, they did that during the season. Harbaugh is the favorite by a wide margin. Looking at Kalshi right now, Joe, 56% chance. 56 that he's the coach. The guy behind him is Kevin Stefanski at 25%. Is this look like it's just a Harbaugh spot? And if not, why is Harbaugh waiting until Monday? Does he want to see if something else opens up? But it looks like he's the heavy favorite and probably will get the job.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Memphis is shopping John Morant. Yeah, no kidding. They should have shopped him 2 years ago and got rid of him. The problem is, where does he go? Like, what team is going to sit there and deal with a dude who, A, has not been healthy or reliable both on the court or off the court? Like, who's trading for John Morant here, Coach?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day on a Friday. A little NFL preview on our slate, little college football. By the way, see the college football lines up to 8.5 with Indiana. Yikes. We got that to get to. NBA, NHL, college basketball as well. Let's bring in our good buddy Nick Camedy. Check out his work at zonecoverage.com, zonecoverage.com, and follow him on Twitter at @TheRealTinyNick. Not a bad NBA game. Your boys, the Teacups, in action against the Houston Rockets. Pretty good spot, Nick, I will say, for Minnesota, in that this is the third game in 4 nights for Houston. Who knows who's really playing? And they had this situation one other time this year, and the Rockets lost to Sacramento. So, you know what? I'm thinking, I'm guessing you're taking Minnesota, but I think the Teacups actually get the road win tonight. What about you?
There's no Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, Scott, am I becoming that predictable now that you think I'm going to take the Wolves every time I come? No, I love it. I do think that the Wolves have a good chance of winning tonight. But, yeah, as you guys just mentioned, Anthony Edwards is out tonight. So I'm going to take a different look at tonight's game. I'm going to actually look at Julius Randle. He's a high-usage guy with Anthony Edwards not in the lineup. To go over 36.5 points, rebounds, and assists seems low to me. He averages 39.4 when Ant is not in the lineup. We saw him go over all of his totals last game in a game that the Wolves surprisingly won without Anthony Edwards. It's a game where the Wolves they're alive, but the Rockets are also coming off of a bad loss. They might be motivated. Without Anthony Edwards, the wheels could fall off for the rest of the team, but I trust Julius Randle to get his shots up. He also leads the team in assists, which won't decline with Anthony Edwards being out. Julius Randle's going to have to, handle the ball more than he usually would. And the Rockets are thin at the floor right now. I really like the matchup for Julius Randle, getting to go up against Jabari Smith, who's also been struggling a lot as of late. I'm looking for some bully ball from Julius Randle tonight.
You know this team well. What about Naz Reid tonight? I've been a fan of Naz Reid for the combos, points, rebounds, assists, etc. Over the years, and especially like when I love. So one thing I do love about the NBA, people complain about players being out, but I love the step out spot. And last night we hit Najee Marshall, boom, so easy. Like with everybody out with Dallas. So you said Randall here. Anybody else? I'm looking at Naz Reid. It's 23.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and he checks in on a nightly basis in this range with Ant on the court. Now without Ant on the court, seems to me logically that Reed's numbers will go up just a little bit What's your take on somebody besides Randall? What about Dante, Reed, anybody else?
Yeah, Gabe, I don't want to come off as too big of a homer in this spot here. But what I will say is you're absolutely onto something here. Jaden McDaniels, another guy that high usage. Nas Reed, high usage tonight. These numbers have not adjusted correctly to how much Anthony Edwards actually handles the ball and takes from these numbers from the rest of the team. Dante DiVincenzo is going to be a really high usage guy. It's a team that when you look at other than Anthony Edwards, they're not a bunch of scrubs. They're a bunch of guys that can put up 20 points on their own. I trust Jaden to go over. I trust Nas to go over. I just simply zeroed in on Julius because it's my favorite. And Julius, every time Anthony Edwards is out, he goes crazy. He absolutely goes bully ball mode. And I expect him to do the same tonight. But Nas Reed, Jaden, as I just mentioned, the rest of these role guys, they can all score 20 apiece. You see these numbers coming in at 12.5, 13.5, 14.5, those types of numbers. I'm definitely taking the points over, and the points, rebounds, and assists for the guys that you trust to be able to handle the ball a little bit more.
Hey, don't feel bad about being a homer. We're in football mode right now, but just wait till the season's over. You're going to see a lot of Raptors stuff behind me. All right? I'm on the Raptors tonight. No Quickly, no RJ Barrett. It's like, yeah, screw, give me the Raptors. Yeah,
whatever.
So I'm not going to call you a homer.
That total was coming in pretty low. I was shocked to see that. Just side note. The lowest NBA total I've seen in a while.
Yeah, I know. No Kawhi tonight.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I'm real surprised that line is 4.5 then, right? I mean, I saw, like, generally I'll see a line, Nick, and Gabe knows this as well. I'm sure he does the same thing. Yeah. And you're like, okay, that's not right. Someone must not be playing, right? Then you look it up and you find out whoever's not playing. Like, I didn't think that, with Houston. I knew Houston was playing 3 days and 4 nights. Like, why is that line only 4.5 then if Anthony Edwards isn't playing for the T-Wolves?
Houston are struggling right now.
Yeah, Houston can't score. It's Jabari Smith. I think I saw a stat yesterday. He was like 3 for 27 from 3 in his last 4 games or something along those lines. That's crazy bad. And you got the rest of the guys around the perimeter, no Van Fleet. So they don't have the shooting that they need to be able to. They're having a hard time scoring over 100 points right now, Scott. It's gotten to the point with this team that, NBA totals are adjusting heavily every time the Rockets are in a game. Because not only are they the tallest, longest team in the league defensively, they simply cannot score the basketball right now.
They can't shoot and they're not really defending. I don't know if you saw, people are kind of debating whether exactly how it went down, but if you saw the video, Nick, it was funny, Scott. SGA the other night, it was the Thunder and the Rockets, right? SGA's at the free throw line. KD said something to him. And SGA looks over. And he goes, I hope you enjoy the 7th being the 7th seed. And he takes the free throw. I don't know, what happened? He said, what? He was minding his own business. You can see he's minding his own business. He's in his space. And he's like, what? And it's Durant. And he goes, man, I hope you enjoy being the 7th seed. All right. And he goes to take his free throw.
Shut him up.
He was so casual, man. I'd love to have them mic'd up, man. It would be so good.
Yeah.
But it would be so offensive and it would freak people out. It'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe that guy just said that. But these guys say a lot of, that was harmless funny, but these guys really say some funny things, man, when you're courtside. It's great.
I'm not sure Anthony Edwards would be allowed to play anymore if we had him mic'd up every single night.
Oh God. No. He would hit a lot of offensive words. Let's just be real. During the bubble, guys, they were really worried about it. They pleaded with the players. Please. They gave them a list of words.
In there.
They gave them a list of words, and they said, listen, we know you guys say these words, but don't do it. There's no fans. Everyone's going to hear you guys saying this to each other.
Remember when Russell Westbrook was screaming at the wives of the players in the bubble at one point? That was the only group he could talk trash to.
He's another one, right?
Shut up. He said, shut up.
He's yelling at babies.
All right, I'll bring it up. I shouldn't because we talk about this, Nick, all the time. But, all right, so he's not playing tonight, right? We know he's not hurt. Foot injury, my ass, right? They got a game against Houston. All right, they do play San Antonio tomorrow, so I'm assuming he's going to they chose Houston.
No, he's hurt. He's hurt, Scott. He's hurt. Nick would know. It's not this isn't a load management. He's actually
he's doing this interesting thing, right? It might be a toe injury, and I'm hoping it's nothing to do turf toe or anything like that, but it seems to be reoccurring, Scott, to the point that he's probably going to be out again, and he might be out for a week. and hopefully this doesn't linger more than that already. It is becoming a little bit of a concern in Minnesota right now, though.
He's hardcore,
Okay,
Scott.
my
This
bad.
kid doesn't
My
do
bad.
load management, Antia.
He's missed a couple
hardcore.
of games. Okay. My
Yeah,
bad.
you're
I
forgetting.
was going to ask why would he choose this game.
Yeah, Scott
Oh,
likes
good.
to attack before he knows the facts
Yeah,
sometimes.
before I do the facts, don't let facts. One of our favorites on the podcast. Don't let facts get in the way of a good rant. It doesn't matter.
No,
That's
it's not
why
a
I shut
LeBron
it down. I'm
James.
like,
Yeah.
no, he's hurt for real. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Kawhi
It's
tonight
it's
is not
almost
hurt.
sad.
Kawhi
Yeah,
is
it's
not hurt.
almost sad.
He's the
You
one
gotta
that just
question
didn't want to play.
everybody. It's amazing.
I know. I
You
get
gotta
it.
question
I
everybody.
understand.
So
They brought it upon
We'll get to the
themselves. I
NFL.
trust it. They
Yeah.
made the distrust like on their own, which I understand. Right now, you almost have to say, no, he actually is hurt, and nobody believes it. No, he's not. I bet you he's not really hurt.
So we'll get to your NFL picks on the other side. Any interest in Sacramento? I'm starting to buy into Sacramento. There's a lot of talent on that team. Gabe and
What
I
is
talked about
happening
it.
there right now? Yeah.
Maybe they're
They're
starting
going
to get
crazy.
it together.
I'll tell you why,
Yeah,
Scott.
right.
My theory, and Nick, dude, they're all on the trade block.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all
Yeah,
like
I was
stepping
gonna
up, man. Yeah,
And they want
I'm
to be
telling you,
traded,
there's
right?
big talk about every like you and I talked about last week, Scott. You said the sum of their parts are good. Like people would be like, yeah. I like Levine, I like DeRozan, I like this guy, I like that
Sabonis,
guy.
What Russell Westbrook,
And now
Malik
it's starting
Monk,
to happen, eh,
Sabonis.
Nick?
Yeah,
Guys are stepping up because they're saying, no, trade for me. I'm over here. I'm playing well. Trade for me.
Yeah.
The big rumor is DeRozan to the Clippers.
Yep.
Wow, that makes sense as far as another veteran
He's
player.
from LA.
All right, we'll get Nick's NFL and he's from LA, right? Nick's NFL picks on the other side.
The outline for Koepka are fantastic. I think it's perfect. It is punitive, but it's fair. You've got to levy some sort of fine, so to speak, for defecting, and I think they've done a wonderful job of being equitable and punishing him a bit at the same time. I think Brooks ultimately wants to be playing with the best.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
New York Giants. They fired their head coach, Brian Daboll. Now, they did that during the season. Harbaugh is the favorite by a wide margin. Looking at Kalshi right now, Joe, 56% chance. 56 that he's the coach. The guy behind him is Kevin Stefanski at 25%. Is this look like it's just a Harbaugh spot? And if not, why is Harbaugh waiting until Monday? Does he want to see if something else opens up? But it looks like he's the heavy favorite and probably will get the job.
Pro Football Today. Only on SportsGrid.
Memphis is shopping John Morant. Yeah, no kidding. They should have shopped him 2 years ago and got rid of him. The problem is, where does he go? Like, what team is going to sit there and deal with a dude who, A, has not been healthy or reliable both on the court or off the court? Like, who's trading for John Morant here, Coach?
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe checking out the action with a little NFL, little NBA talk with our good buddy Nick Hamady. ZoneCoverage.com. Follow him on Twitter.
I know we're going to get to the NFL.
Nick. Go ahead,
I'm
Nick.
just going
Go
to
ahead,
check
Gabe.
though, Scott. I know we're going to get to the NFL, but I'm just going to check. So that we'll get what you guys are doing here. I'm going to pop it up. Polymarket all should have this. They got everything. I want to see John Morant's next team. Morant's next team. It's going to be the Miami Heat, isn't it, Nick? Just for quickly throw it out there. We'll get to the football. Yeah, Scott, you say the Heat. That's what everyone's saying.
Yeah.
I sort of
makes
buy
the most
into
sense
it.
to me.
Yeah. And, the Heat are looking to dump Wiggins as well, so I guess he could be part of this. The Raptors are being rumored. I don't buy it as a Raptor fan. Yeah, here we go. Will Ja Morant be traded?
Gabe,
All right,
who would have seen this coming? Andrew Wiggins being involved in another trade that's very similar to what happened with Russell or D'Angelo Russell back in the day, getting him out of Minnesota. Just another troubled, flip him out for another guy that's having trouble somewhere else that has some potential.
Exactly.
How
Yeah.
about
For the
Brooklyn,
record, dude.
Nick? How about Brooklyn? I know it's like they want to start with these young guys, and that sounds real good. But after a while, it's like, all right, the young guy philosophy is nice in the NBA.
Ja
but
Morant in Brooklyn would be fun. That would be fun, actually.
Yeah. I mean, they
it
are
makes,
like
it makes a
New
little
York.
bit
I
of
don't know if
sense.
you want to
Yeah.
put Ja Morant in Brooklyn and living in New York, but
I personally wouldn't want to either, but they're competing against the Knicks. They're competing in the East. They need star players.
Well, speaking of which, they
got
had
a lot of young
D'Angelo
guys.
Russell before. It's almost like the same thing.
Yeah.
They kind of that's when the Nets were fun. They brought in a bunch of misfits that no one really wanted. Jared Allen was a kid. They had who was the white dude that could shoot the threes there? What was his name? He was pretty good. I can't believe I forget his name right now.
I'm drawing a blank as well, yeah.
Yeah, I got to look at the roster. But
And then they had the
was
foot
the
on
coach.
the line Kevin Durant team. Yeah, they had
Harris LeVert. Yeah, they screwed it up, though, by bringing in Kyrie. That was the whole point, Scott, I was getting at. They screwed it up by bringing in the star players. They brought in Kyrie and Durant. They fired Atkinson. They hired Steve Nash, and it went all downhill. They had Kenny Atkinson as their coach, and they actually built something good, and they blew it up. All because they wanted name guys to compete with the Knicks.
I'd probably wait another year or two to make a move, just because I didn't realize this until they played the Timberwolves and I was at the game. They have so many draft picks, and they already have made so many of them that I would see who sticks first, and then I would make my next move after that, much like what OKC did. And they're in a more fun market than OKC. So you would think that with all these draft picks and a couple of these guys being good, that they'd be all right. I think that's part of the reason you don't see Cam Thomas getting as much run as he used to, because they know what they got out of him. They want to see these young guys run, and they want to see what they have a little bit more out of these draft picks that they've made recently, and see what they can plan around for the future.
It's really bothering me. I'm looking it up. Joe Harris.
Yeah, it was killing me. I knew he was out of the league now. Yeah.
I found it pretty fast. Joe. No, it was a fun team, though. Jared Dudley, Joe Harris, Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, D'Angelo Russell, Hollis Jefferson, DeMar Carroll, who was like the LeBron stopper at the time.
Didn't Dorian Finney-Smith? Did Dorian Finney-Smith make a stop there? Yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie. There you go.
Yeah, Spencer Dinwiddie. It was a fun team. That was a good team. And then they lost 4-1 in the playoffs to the Sixers, but it was actually close. And, oh, boy, how about this, guys? Baylor, Scott, have stormed back 37-36, Baylor Bears.
Oof.
They were down big early.
Yeah,
it's like 19-4 type thing, 19-6. Like, they have stormed back. All right, NFL, let's roll.
Let's go. Denver, we'll start Denver, Buffalo. All the numbers say Denver as far as, the short week and all that other stuff. We brought that up yesterday, Nick. Buy into that, or you going Bills?
This is like the hardest game of the week for me. I really like both of these teams for different reasons, but I'm going to actually zero in on a player prop. I'm going to look at Bo Nix to go over 23.5 rushing yards. Reason being, he averages 21 rushing per game, but steps up in big games. He knows he's going to have to put his body on the line a little bit more, being that this is do or die situation for him. Going up against a guy, Josh Allen, who we've seen him put his body on the line, including last week. He's going to be banged up in this spot. I like looking at the Buffalo Bills, but the Denver Broncos have had too good of a year to overlook them at home. I think this week's a weird week where you have a lot of the home teams being discounted and the home field advantage and everything that they've done throughout the season not being taken into account. For me, in this game, I'm going to try to avoid taking the road team and just stick to Bo Nix over 23.5 rushing yards. He's also facing a Bills defense that's 31st in the league against rushing. He is a two-factor threat enough to be able to use his legs. We'll get Bo Nix to go over 23.5 rushing yards.
Mm-hmm. How about Seattle, San Fran? Then I guess you're doing the same thing. Although this one you're laying 7 with the bye team.
Don't understand the point spread in this one, Nick. I don't understand it. Dude, the Seattle Seahawks played San Francisco twice this year. In both games, they scored 13 points. And now you're laying 7? Yeah. I know they won by 10 in one of them, but, dude, like, San Francisco's defense plays well against Seattle. I like the Niners plus the points.
Yeah, I say this all the time, but being that I went to Iowa State, I know that what Brock Purdy's capable of. I've seen enough from Brock Purdy as an NFL quarterback to have a little bit of confidence in him. To see him as a 7-point dog was surprising in the spot. And like you just mentioned, it's going up against Sam Darnold, the guy that I have zero confidence in as a 1 seed. Going into this week, the 49ers are 20-1 to win the Super Bowl. The Seahawks are 3-1. That's crazy. I thought the 49ers were going to beat Seattle in Seattle when they just played. Brock Purdy had a dud of a performance. It was pretty bad. I know they've got some injuries, Trent Williams and some injuries on the defensive side that are hindering to this team. But this is more of a fade Sam Darnold situation for me. And instead of just going with the 7, which I will be rolling with, I'm going to tease him up to 13. It's just, that's an insane spread for me. I don't even know if the Seahawks are capable of scoring over 20 in this game. Brock Purdy is 4-0 straight up and ATS in Seattle, covering by 6.4 points per game. I just see this being a game where you got to do that. And I'm going to tease them with the Bears. The Bears are coming in as a 4-point dog. You can tease that all the way up to 10. Indoor teams going into sub 30-degree games are 2-11 straight up and 5-8 ATS since 2003. I don't have the confidence in the Rams to run it out after seeing what they did in Carolina last week. I'm trusting Caleb Williams and the Bears to score enough to keep this game close.
Matt Stafford, 2-2 in those temperatures, 30 degrees. Everyone, usually 40 is a barometer, but it's going to be real cold. Matt Stafford's 2-2 in his career when it's 30 degrees or lower. Caleb Williams has never played in a game this cold before.
Yeah, Caleb Williams is 24-11 ATS in second halves of games. So look at a backdoor cover as well with the tees.
Second half
coming back. Yeah, great
second half coverage.
Great job, Ed.
The battle back Bears.
Yeah, there you go. BBB.
The outline for Koepka are fantastic. I think it's perfect. It is punitive, but it's fair. You've got to levy some sort of fine, so to speak, for defecting, and I think they've done a wonderful job of being equitable and punishing him a bit at the same time. I think Brooks ultimately wants to be playing with the best.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
New York Giants. They fired their head coach, Brian Daboll. Now, they did that during the season. Harbaugh is the favorite by a wide margin. Looking at Kalshi right now, Joe, 56% chance. 56 that he's the coach. The guy behind him is Kevin Stefanski at 25%. Does this look like it's just a Harbaugh spot? And if not, why is Harbaugh waiting until Monday? Does he want to see if something else opens up? But it looks like he's the heavy favorite and probably will get the job.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Memphis is shopping John Morant. Yeah, no kidding. They should have shopped him 2 years ago and got rid of him. The problem is, where does he go? Like, what team is going to sit there and deal with a dude who, A, has not been healthy or reliable both on the court or off the court? Like, who's trading for John Morant here, Coach?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day on the Grid. Thanks again, Nick Hambody, ZoneCoverage.com, joining us there. Quick peek at some of our games here, Gabe. Not off to a great start, but you know what? I'd rather, sometimes it's better to get off to lousy starts because it's hard to go from start to finish in some of these games. I'll try and be positive about some of the plays. Marquette is leading, about 15-10. I know, no big deal. Ball State 20-10 over our Bobcats of Ohio midway through the first half. That's a bit of a surprise. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I don't think Ohio are done.
I
They
know.
should come back and win this game, right? They're plus 130. It goes to show, though, doesn't
Only
it?
2.5.
That we're only down 10. Well, I mean, we're down by 10, which is quite a lot early, and we're only getting plus 130. So it goes to show the computer and the simulator algorithm still believes in the Ohio Bobcats, that they're not out of this game.
So that's good. That's good. You want to take a flyer now? It's St. Louis 2-0 over the Lightning. After
I wish I would have thought of my Bennington angle before the game, Scott.
Yeah.
You brought it up. I was like,
know.
Like
By the
Bennington,
time when
I
you
realized,
told me that, I looked,
like,
it was
man.
already 1-0. I'm like, fudge, you know? Yeah.
Is he really? Let's see, does he pitch a shutout tonight?
He is
pitch a
playing.
shutout.
Right? Let's just double check and make sure he's playing after all this, right? That would be funny if he wasn't. Box score,
I know.
He's not. How about that?
Are you telling me it's not Bennington right now?
It's not Bennington. It's the dude Hoffer. Joel
What, are
Hoffer.
they trying to save him? They were like, well, we're going to ruin your Olympic chance? That's funny. I didn't know it was
Not
him.
only
I was
that,
like, no, it's got to be him.
You know, if you're thinking about that, right, that's a great angle. Doesn't St. Louis say, hey, listen, I know it's been a struggle for this dude, but he's going up against his Olympic coach. You know he's going to want to put a good effort. Why wouldn't you, use that same logic to play him if you're the Blues?
Bill Guerin is the general manager of Team USA. Playing games, you know what I mean?
Well, maybe that's it.
Because I'm sure Cooper would. I'm telling you right now. I think John Cooper would have liked to seen Bennington up close tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I want to see him. We're playing against him. Let's see how he looks. The Olympics are in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? I don't know. There's something up here. Like I said, you're catching me off guard on this. I didn't bet it. I only thought of it after. All this stuff. But I also had a theory, Scott, that Cole Caulfield got left off the team and he would score a goal against the Blues, and the Canadians got shut out against them. So it's like not all of our systems work. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So systems go to die on weekends. I've seen more winning streaks. Again, don't have records for it. Just follow this stuff for 40 years. I have seen more winning streaks and losing streaks snapped on Friday, Saturday nights for whatever reason than any other day of the week. I know it's goofy, but I don't know if the guys get distracted. The arenas, the stadiums they're in for the home team, but they're the team that's trying to break the streak is a little bit more filled up and more energy and stuff. I don't know what it is, but
it seems like there is more energy on weekend games.
There is, yeah.
There's a million of these little things, like we talk about, like holidays and stuff, upsets at holidays, home teams.
Right.
A lot of smart fighters won't fight during the holidays. They know. They're like, no. I'm not fighting around Christmas. You know what I mean? It's just a bad,
Got going home with a black
bad
eye.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just the whole, there's distractions in your life. You know what I mean? There's sort of, I'm telling you, a lot of guys no, I'm not doing that. You'll see sort of a lot of upsets in that spot. Just a quick update. You talked about the 8.5 on Monday night. Last game will be on the air Monday night, guys, for the game. But the transfer portal is getting set to close soon. And we have another big name. Yeah, name that just entered the transfer. Darian Mensah. Duke quarterback Darian Mensah, who was on Tulane last year.
Yep.
This kid was basically homeless. They told the story. He was sleeping in cars with his mother and stuff. And he said he thought he hit the lottery in his life when he was at Tulane. It turned out Tulane didn't pay him. He wasn't getting big money. He got 200, you know what I mean? 250K, 500K type. He didn't get big, massive money from Tulane. So he went to Duke. They gave him $4 million this past year. Scott, there's a rumor that he's going to go to Miami. $10 million. Darian Mensah.
Wow. I mean, he's a good quarterback, but he's not that good. He's not that good.
I know. But that's where we're at now, bro. Who's the other guy that I didn't think that was that good?
Didn't they say they were going to have a salary cap?
Me too. We seem to be. I remember that too. It was you're not allowed to spend any more than $20 million. It was sort of an agreement. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
they outlined for Koepka are fantastic. I think it's perfect. It is punitive, but it's fair. You've got to levy some sort of fine, so to speak, for defecting, and I think they've done a wonderful job of being equitable and punishing him a bit at the same time. I think Brooks ultimately wants to be playing with the best.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
New York Giants. They fired their head coach, Brian Daboll. Now, they did that during the season. Harbaugh is the favorite by a wide margin. Looking at Kalshi right now, Joe, 56% chance. 56 that he's the coach. The guy behind him is Kevin Stefanski at 25%. Is this look like it's just a Harbaugh spot? And if not, why is Harbaugh waiting until Monday? Does he want to see if something else opens up? But it looks like he's the heavy favorite and probably will get the job.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Memphis is shopping John Morant. Yeah, no kidding. They should have shopped him 2 years ago and got rid of him. The problem is, where does he go? Like, what team is going to sit there and deal with a dude who, A, has not been healthy or reliable both on the court or off the court? Like, who's trading for John Morant here, Coach?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day on the Grid. Hour number 2, Scott and Gabe until 10 p.m. Eastern Time, as we always are, Monday through Friday, except the championship game. Monday night we'll be here until the end of the game, so from 8 to 11:30, 12 o'clock or so, depending when they actually kick off. All right, late night pickoff time, hour number 2. I only got a couple. I'll start with one here, Gabe, real quickly. NBA, I'll grab Minnesota plus the 4.5 against the Houston Rockets. Third game in 4 nights for Houston. They're on an 0-7 against the spread run. You talked about how they're struggling. They are. Minnesota, meanwhile, 6-1 straight up, 5-2 against the spread. I know it's no Anthony Edwards. That's okay. Believe it or not, I've seen 1,000 times these teams rise to the occasion. He's been out for a little while now, as you pointed out. So give me Minnesota plus the 4.5 at Houston to win outright.
Colorado State here, plus 5.5 on the road. This is a fun basketball team, this Colorado State team. They shoot the ball extremely well from three. They shoot the ball well from the free throw line. They're efficient pretty much everywhere, this team. They're 11-6. Boise State, anyone who paid attention to Boise State so far this year, I watch a lot of Mountain West basketball. You could tell early on that this isn't a great Boise State team. They really have trouble shooting the basketball. They're 9-8. Right, and think about that. Conference play just kind of started. Like, they weren't winning non-conference games, even Boise State. They're 9-8. You got a Colorado State team. I'm surprised by the point spread here. Like, it should be 1.5, too, in my opinion. And just quickly, how about our head-to-head matchup last night, Scott, with Portland State and Northern Colorado? It was a push.
Yeah,
it was a push. Portland State were the number 1 team ATS, and I went against them. Scott took them. It ended up being a push. It was 3. But, yeah, give me the Colorado State. Plus the 5.5 at Boise State tonight. I also like the over in that game as well. But what else you got?
All right. Every once in a while, you have to do things like this, right? Colorado is hosting Nashville. Colorado is just playing great. You know, they opened up the season 5-5, kind of like Tampa Bay. They opened up the season 5-5. Who figured? All right, no big deal. 28-7 since then. They're 12-3 their last 15. They've yet to lose a game at home in regulation where they're playing tonight. 19-0-3. All other teams in the NHL have at least 5 home losses, to put that into perspective, regulation losses. They get their goaltenders back. They've been playing with the minor league goaltender the last couple of games. They've outscored their opponents this year by 79 goals, by far the number 1 team, right? It all points to Colorado. I'm going to take a stab on Nashville tonight. They actually beat Colorado earlier this year in overtime. They're 9-4. Their last 13 games, they're playing their best hockey by far. And you can probably go back to last year and say they're playing their best hockey in 2 years. Hey, it's a Friday night. You know what? Goofy things happen. Colorado didn't play great against Toronto. Their last home game, which they ended up losing. So you know what? Plus 2.5. I think it's down to plus 230 on FanDuel. I'm going to take a flyer on Nashville tonight. Why not? Give me Nashville plus the 2 and change against Colorado. You could go conservative and take the 1.5 if you want at plus odds, but I'm going to roll the dice on a Friday night. I'm going to say they're going to win outright.
Man, Colorado always such big favorites. You could take plus 2.5, and it wouldn't even be like that much minus money.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's pretty wild. I talked about the over. And this game's at 10:30 Eastern time, so you got time to get it in. But I talked about the over of the Boise State and Colorado State game. Boise State are 5-10 as far as totals, 10-5 to the under. So 5-10 to the over to the over. They're 10-5 to the under on the year, which I'm kind of surprised about. But as I say, they can't really score. But they get like lit up. Dude, they've given up 89 or more points in 3 of their last 4 games. Like, they went to Vegas, and UNLV aren't even that good. UNLV beat them 89-85. Utah State beat them 93-68. That game was at Boise. They gave up 93 on their home court. They lost this guy, saying all you need about Boise, and they're laying 5.5 tonight, guys. Grand Canyon are good, right? But Grand Canyon were getting like 7.5 points going into Boise. Grand Canyon beat them easily. 75-58. Like I said, I don't understand this point spread tonight. San Diego State hung 107 on them. 110 on them. So I think the total's kind of light here at 138.5. And Colorado State usually gets to like the mid-70s type of deal. So I think that the game goes over the number, over 138.5.
I'll tell you, in their series 7-3 over, last 10 meetings between these two teams. That helps you even that much more. And Colorado State 16-6-1 over against winning teams, which at 9-8, that's what Boise State is. So
and
that's
Colorado State have beaten them 4 straight times too, just for the record. They've also beaten them 4 straight times.
Yeah, you're right. They're not the great. Not that they've ever. Yeah, not that they've ever been great, Gabe, but boy, they've been in that little. There's like 3 or 4 teams: Utah State, Boise State, San Diego State,
they're usually on the bubble of the tournament, though.
That's what I was going to say. They're all challenged. It was a challenge, but this year, not the case. They're off this year, so kind of like their football team.
All their money's going to the football team. They can't keep up with both. It's just the reality of modern sport.
Yeah. How many rich Boise State alumnus are there? I'm sure there's some, but it still amazes me these guys give this money. Yeah, right, exactly. Who right? Here's my $10 million. Go get some basketball players.
I already gave you for football. Yeah, basketball, whatever. And it's almost like how many basketball players really want to move to Boise and play there.
Yeah,
right? Like that's the other thing. It's kind of a challenge, you know? It's a challenge, yeah. So Colorado State does it, though. You got to basically, I'll just cut to the chase. You got to get a bunch of white dudes who can shoot threes.
Yeah.
Like the brothers aren't lining up to move to Fort Collins and Boise and stuff like that, these places. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? Like in the Mountain West, especially, too, you consider, Scott, you've got UNLV, you've got San Diego. You've actually got some cool cities and stuff and cool sort of locations weather-wise. And, like, think about the weather, too. Like, how many players grow up? I'd be really great to be a Wyoming Cowboy basketball player.
Yeah.
It's a program, you know what I'm saying? No, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know?
No, I seriously.
Like, no, I'd rather play for USC or UCLA. You know?
Yeah. But if you're recruiting the same type of player, right? So the UNLVs of the world and the San Diego States are going after the same kids as Wyoming and Colorado State. Like, how do you recruit that? How do you win that battle?
It's kind of tough.
Like, you don't want to go to Las Vegas. You don't want to go to god awful San Diego.
And the kid knows,
you want to come up here to the mountains.
You're a football school. You're a football school.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna go there. He's gonna see all the football. He's gonna be like, "You're a football school." You're like, "You're not a basketball school." I'm not. Like I said, it's a tough sell. It's a tough sell. Gonzaga have done a nice job sort of staying alive in this era, haven't they, if you think about it?
Yeah.
For a little school in Spokane, Washington.
Yeah. In a 2-bit conference. That's gotten better over the last year or two with St. Mary's kind of coming up. But otherwise, what selling point does Mark Few have? That he gets all these big-time kids if he's not, like, dipping under the table. Right? You're going to come play.
He's got to.
Your parents can't see it back east. I mean, we're not on national TV, every night.
He's got to.
We're all here in the West Coast.
He's got to get a certain type of player, Scott. If you'll notice, Gonzaga, they got Canadian dudes. They've got European dudes.
European players,
right?
They don't know any better.
Yeah, like they sort of, they get like the type of player that won't want to play there, and they avoid it. Like few is good at knowing. Yeah, I'm not going to waste my time like trying to recruit some kid that's from Miami, Florida, to come here. Right? Like, but like Suggs is from Minneapolis. We just had Nick on. Right? Like cold weather, they'll get kids from cold weather places and stuff, and they do get kids from the area as well, right? From the Pacific Northwest, because it is the best basketball team in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. So, good job. I would really.
And it's a Jesuit school too, right? You got to actually go to class there too.
Right. That's the reality TV show. I've said this over the years that I'd love to see, Gabe. The recruiting wars. Tap the phones and let's hear what these coaches say to these kids, right? You follow some kid who's being called upon by 5, 6, 7. Oh, that would be so entertaining.
The big one is the other coaches leaving. That's the big thing. Hey, that guy's going. That's what all the college guys. Harbaugh's going to the NFL, right? Like they just basically all like they plant things in the kids' heads and stuff like that. But yeah, it would be fun. I got 2 more picks. We'll do it on the other side though, because also they don't start till 10 o'clock Eastern as well.
Okay, we'll look at those, and I'll look at an NBA draft. Let's do the half make these part.
The outline for Koepka are fantastic. I think it's perfect. It is punitive, but it's fair. You've got to levy some sort of fine, so to speak, for defecting, and I think they've done a wonderful job of being equitable and punishing him a bit at the same time. I think Brooks ultimately wants to be playing with the best.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
New York Giants. They fired their head coach, Brian Daboll. Now, they did that during the season. Harbaugh is the favorite by a wide margin. Looking at Kalshi right now, Joe, 56% chance. 56 that he's the coach. The guy behind him is Kevin Stefanski at 25%. Is this look like it's just a Harbaugh spot? And if not, why is Harbaugh waiting until Monday? Does he want to see if something else opens up? But it looks like he's the heavy favorite and probably will get the job.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Memphis is shopping John Morant. Yeah, no kidding. They should have shopped him 2 years ago and got rid of him. The problem is, where does he go? Like, what team is going to sit there and deal with a dude who, A, has not been healthy or reliable both on the court or off the court? Like, who's trading for John Morant here, Coach?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe checking out all the action, including it's almost like a forgotten thing, believe it or not. But we got one more game, College Football Championship, Monday night after the NFL over the weekend. So let's bring in the coach, Mr. Terry Bowden, host of the Bowden Blitz. You see it here, right here on SportsGrid. So, Coach, we got one more. It's Monday night. I was telling Gabe earlier, the line's up to 8.5, which is just amazing to me. We talked before we came on air, if you broke it all down, I would guess Miami would have a lot more draft choices than this Indiana team, but it's Indiana that's almost a double-digit favorite. How are you viewing this one?
Well, and that's right. That they play like a digit favorite. They've got the best football team. I think they've got the best quarterback. They don't turn the ball over. You've almost got to be a conspiracy theorist to find a way to pick Miami to win this game. But you know what? There are factors that you can look at. There are two games. I don't look at the last two. I go back to Iowa where Indiana won 20-15, had to throw a touchdown pass in the fourth quarter to win. Go to Ohio State when it was 13-10, they had to throw a touchdown pass to win. Both of those games, the defenses held them under 120 yards rushing. That's well below their average. If there's got to be a scheme, that's got to be it. Miami does have some style. That's what they need to do. But I'm going to go back to something. I never think of Miami as having a home field advantage that often because their fans just don't come. But when you think of the great Miami teams, on that sideline, when I start seeing Michael Irvin slapping that belt and you're seeing Ray Lewis
running up and down the sideline.
Jimmy Johnson, we're going to probably see The Rock and a bunch of rappers. Those kids respond to that. And you know, if it got crazy on that sideline and they do have athleticism, and then you're talking about a team that maybe plays above what they've been playing and plays in a way that could beat them. But this is more of an upset. This wouldn't be when it's two or three points, I think of that as a toss-up almost, but this would have to be an upset. That may be what have to happen, but I've got too much Indiana's got too much on their side to be in everything, and I think I can't not pick Indiana in this game.
It's a great point, Coach, because it's going to be a pro-Indiana crowd, even though it's in Miami, right. But I don't think it matters, as you stated. You got Michael Irvin, you got Ray Lewis, you got Jimmy Johnson, you got all these guys, Jim Kelly, whoever, like you name them, on the sideline firing you up. Who cares if there's some dude from Indiana in the stands? But let me ask you, Coach.
Yeah.
So let me say, though, because I was thinking about this, Scott and Coach, Kirk Cignetti, I know you got all the respect in the world for him. If you're Miami, doesn't the long layoff hurt? You were on such a roll. Now you've been at home waiting for 10 days, and I'm just thinking you're giving Cignetti and his diabolical staff a week and a half to dissect what you do, Coach. And no disrespect to Cristobal, but you're not going to find a better staff in the country than the Hoosiers have right now. Isn't this like you give Kurt a week and a half, Coach? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, one extra day for Kurt's like 3 extra days for you. You've got to do that. They do such a great job of preparation and scheming. I saw on the internet where several people said he must be cheating. They know what's going to happen before it happens. That's called scouting. That's called preparation, study and study and study. And some guys don't realize he's 64 years old. He wasn't born yesterday. He was born in the day of self-scout study videos, a 16 Miller video, all the film studies. So I think they will do, the more days they have, the more it goes to Indiana's favorite. And I think that is definitely to Indiana's advantage to be off in this football game.
Right. As far as point spread, right? I know it sounds goofy, Coach, but it's almost like these last two games, they were too easy, right? You annihilate Alabama 38-3. You destroy Oregon 56-22, and you think, okay, they're the greatest thing in the history of mankind. But as you point out, they've had close games this year. They barely beat Iowa, albeit in awful weather conditions. They barely beat State, right? They did a late touchdown. They barely beat Ohio State. So is that number too big, or do you think they'll even cover the 8.5?
No, I feel good. I mean, I'm gonna stay with the 8.5. I'm just saying if you're bent on picking Miami, I think you've got to look at ways in which people stayed close. I know the weather was bad in Iowa, but they rushed for 108 and 117 yards in those two games. They average about 200 plus, and so when you get them down that far, all of a sudden that quarterback is throwing. He doesn't throw the ball very often, but when he does, he hits touchdowns, 41. When you can stop that running game, and defensively at Miami, they have the skill to do that. If you can slow it down and make them throw a lot more, they do have an incredible edge rushers on both sides. They do have a chance to give them a pass rush that's a little bit better than what they've seen all year, just like Miami did against Ohio State, the pressure they put on Saying. And so those are the things I think Miami's got to do. But when you think about upsets, you're thinking about turnovers. They lead the nation, Indiana, in not turning the ball over. Turnover margin, they're number one in the nation. And remember, if Beck presses to win the game, if he starts to feel like it's on his shoulders, he can go the other way. In their 2 losses, he threw 6 interceptions in those 2 losses. So I think from a coaching standpoint, you got to lean towards Indiana. playing as a football, you lean toward Indiana. And I'll be honest, it'd have to get over 10.5 for me not to like the points and them covering the points. And I've just got to go. I can't jump off of Indiana yet.
Mm-hmm. Gabe brought this up
What's
earlier, so I'll
ballpark?
give credit. Okay, go
What's
ahead.
that?
You can say I looked
That's
it
right.
up, but I was going to say, like, totals 47.5, 48, Coach. I'm sort of thinking it's like a 34-17, 41-17 game. Not to disrespect Miami, but I think it will get out of hand as the game goes on. What kind of ballpark are you looking at?
I'm thinking over. I definitely think over. It was almost like when you watched Miami played over. If Miami were to pull the upset, if you're thinking Miami could go under, but I'm thinking it's more likely that they're going to run away a little bit with this game. I'm not saying the huge score they had the last two, but I'm going over to cover Indiana to cover, and I'm picking the over, and I think more than not likely that's going to happen.
Coach, as you probably know, maybe I'll remind you, Kurt Cignetti from Pittsburgh. There's a little team in Pittsburgh that has an opening in football right now.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Do you think there's any chance he wins the national championship and says, you know what, I'm 64, I got one last gasp, here I come, Pittsburgh Steelers?
No, you know what? Kurt has worked all his life to become a Division I head coach, all of his life. And he's just now there. And let me put it the other. What if he didn't win the national championship this year? He's still got things to prove. I don't think he's going anywhere. This is where he finishes up.
Yeah. Coach, great job, man. Appreciate it. The Bout and Blitz here on SportsGrid.
Take care, y'all.
We didn't.
The outline for Koepka. The outline for Koepka are fantastic.
Has made
I
his
think
last start for the Dolphins. Feels like Sam went easy on this one.
If I could be that crazy guy, was it Jim Kramer? Bye. Yeah, there's no way he's playing for the Dolphins again. After he said that statement, there was no way in hell anyway. But once again, new coach, new GM. I don't know how they're going to do the cap hit. It's massive.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
New York Giants, they fired their head coach, Brian Daboll. Now, they did that during the season. Harbaugh is the favorite by a wide margin. Looking at Kalshi right now, Joe, 56% chance. 56 that he's the coach. The guy behind him is Kevin Stefanski at 25%. Is this look like it's just a Harbaugh spot? And if not, why is Harbaugh waiting until Monday? Does he want to see if something else opens up? But it looks like he's the heavy favorite and probably will get the job.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Looking for an edge in betting football? Injuries can make or break a game. Get insider knowledge from Dr. David Chow and the team of experts with Sick Picks at Sports Injury Central. We reveal hidden health-based advantages the sports books miss. Our doctors provide insights, and our algorithm tells you who to bet on. Spreads, props, totals, in-game bets, Sick Picks covers it all. Go to SickScore.com and sign up for Sick Picks and use the promo code SportsGrid for a free week today.
Hi, welcome back in Game Live. Thanks to the coach. Always a pleasure talking with Coach Terry Bowden. The Bowden Blitz here on the grid. I'm not, I'm waffling, Gabe. 1 minute I say it's Indiana. The next minute I start hearing about Miami, and I dislike Miami more. So I want to put the black cloud on them. And now it's well over a touchdown, 8.5. I mean, and they do play close games. That's why I was asking him about, these last couple of games for Indiana has looked so easy. that, once you face a real rugged team like Miami can be, you wonder if this is going to be like Iowa, Penn State, Ohio State, maybe win, but covering, almost double digits. I don't know. I haven't decided yet, to tell you the truth. I'm going back and forth.
You know what? Just for the record, Kansas have really exploded to start the second half here. So your Jayhawk pick is looking good. They're suddenly up by 17, just like that. Think about it, guys. It was 38-37 for Baylor. And now it's like 57-40 or whatever it is. 57-40. And we got a foul coming up, I think. Just an explosion for the Jayhawks. So Rock Chalk Jayhawks starting to put it together. That's why teams shouldn't. Don't bury a college team early in the year, guys. It's a long haul, right? It's all about the NCAA tournament. But this college football game, I am not wavering. Like, I think it's going to end poorly. And I've been on Miami for, I believed in them and all that. I think this is the end of the line for them. I really do believe that the long layoff, I thought it was a great line by the coach in which he said, 1 day for you is 3 days for Cignetti. Like, as far as coaching. Like, I guarantee you, like, Indiana are already on to like 0.99 of their, and if this happens and this and that, where's Cristobal, bro, on his list?
Yeah.
Number 4, 5, like, you know what I mean? Like, like as far as they just like, dude, Indiana, like you said, you guys don't understand, like, they are super freaks as far as prep is concerned. They know everything you're going to do. They're aware. They don't get caught off guard. They basically that plan for everything, expect the worst. Like, that's the way he looks at it. He's the type of guy when he goes on a trip, he brings everything. Like, you know what I mean? Save our life, bring the compass, make sure you bring that. Like, he thinks about everything. They're just too complete. I think the emotion of being in Miami is worse for Miami, to be honest with you. And I also don't think that once the stadium, the game, it's going to be all Indiana fans. I don't care if it's in Miami. Their fans are going to take it over. Good point by the coach, I thought, though, that, when you got all those legends, Scott, on the sidelines, as you and the coach are talking about, that will sort of, that'll get Miami fired up. But I don't know, like, when Indiana has the ball and stuff, I don't think crowd noise will be an effect for them. Like their fans are going to take the stadium over. I'm going back, Scott. I think it's like 41-21. 38,
but
21,
close.
38-17.
Right.
No, I think it's kind of close, and Indiana kind of pull away as it goes on. You know what I mean? I don't think it's like a massacre. Like, look, they murdered Oregon. I think, they murdered the Ducks. They murdered Alabama, but I think it'll be a little closer, but I don't think it'll be much different. Like, how much better are Miami than Oregon and Ohio? Like, all these teams that they've already beaten.
Right. They're probably... Ohio State will probably go down as their toughest competition, right? That game in the Big Ten championship.
And I think this is where Beck gets exposed, sort of like Darnold. We're all waiting for it. I think this is the one, Scott.
Right. Yeah.
Beck, he's made plays against Ole Miss. Listen, Ole Miss's defense is not very good. Let's call it out for what it is. We all knew that, right? This is a different animal. I'm not taking anything away from Miami. It's been a hell of a run, but I just think Indiana are just too much for them. They're just too much for them. And I don't think, I'm laying the 8.5. I've been talking to people. They think it's going to go up. They think it's going to go up even more. Yeah, because think about it. Like, the public's not on board yet, Scott. The NFL games haven't even happened yet.
That's the thing,
Yeah, like, think about it. The NFL. So everybody Sunday night after the NFL are going to be like, oh, okay. The championship game on Monday. And then they're all going to look and go, I'm not getting in front of Indiana. I think it could hit 9.5. Like, I don't know about 10. 10 might be ambitious, but I think no one wants to bet Miami. I spoke to someone in the business today. They told me nobody's betting Miami. Nobody.
Wow. That's
amazing. But you see what I mean, Scott? Oftentimes you'll see, like, a good example is tomorrow. Everybody loves Seattle. How come it's 7 still? How come it's not like 9? If you all love Seattle so much. Like, the line's not moving. This line is moving. It's like, everybody likes Indiana. It is moving. It's up to 8.5, and it's going to hit 9 and 9.5. And, like, so we can talk about it on the other side again. But, like, I like the Hoosiers in this game comfortably.
I'm trying to remember. What did it open up at? I forget. It was so long. 5.5, 6.5? I know
it opened up at 7.5. Like,
okay,
7
yeah. Tampa Bay battling back against the Blues.
They outlined for Koepka are fantastic. I think it's perfect. It is punitive, but it's fair. You've got to levy some sort of fine, so to speak, for defecting, and I think they've done a wonderful job of being equitable and punishing him a bit at the same time. I think Brooks ultimately wants to be playing with the best.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
New York Giants. They fired their head coach, Brian Daboll. Now, they did that during the season. Harbaugh is the favorite by a wide margin. Look at a cow sheet right now, Joe. 56% chance. 56 that he's the coach. The guy behind him is Kevin Stefanski at 25%. Does this look like it's just a Harbaugh spot? And if not, why is Harbaugh waiting until Monday? Does he want to see if something else opens up? But it looks like he's the heavy favorite and probably will get the job.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Memphis is shopping John Morant. Yeah, no kidding. They should have shopped him 2 years ago and got rid of him. The problem is, where does he go? Like, what team is going to sit there and deal with a dude who, A, has not been healthy or reliable both on the court or off the court? Like, who's trading for John Morant here, Coach?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day on the Grid. Scott and Gabe, half hour to go. Both of us will be back tomorrow afternoon, 12, I think it is for Gabe, and then me and Joe Ranieri at 4 o'clock Eastern time.
No, we're not on tomorrow. I will not be on.
No, you're not on?
I will not be on tomorrow.
Okay.
No, we're not on. But I will be on with you Monday night, obviously, for the championship game. I'm going to go out, actually, tomorrow to a we weren't scheduled, but I wouldn't so I'm not like, oh, yeah, I'm not on because I'm going out to get drunk to watch the Bills game, but that's what I'm doing. But I'm not like, I wasn't scheduled, though, Scott. So, like, I'm not like, so it's a day off for me. But you'd be surprised. It's amazing. I posted the pictures earlier. Like, Bills Mafia is big. And, like, you know, they're a popular team, the Bills. They've almost become like your Red Sox were before they won and became annoying. Or, you know, the lovable losers, the Cubs. People cheer for that team that's never won before, right? Like, Josh Allen's likable. The Bills have been through hell. And, like, so a lot of people, like them. They're popular. And there's, you know, in every city, like Vegas is a big one. There's a bar in Vegas. Brian Blessing, you know, we used to go. And there's a bar in Vegas. It's the Bills bar. And, you know, so you got the Bills games on all the time. And Bills fans go there. But there's one in Vancouver. Like, there's a Vancouver's Bills backer, Bill Mafia, it's called. Dude, like, you'd be amazed, bro. Like, you got to get there 2 hours before the game because there's so many people. Like, there was like 400 Bills fans that showed up last. The picture, you would have thought that it was Buffalo. Like, if I showed you the picture, you would have been like, yeah, that's like the parking lot, like at the Bills game. You'd be like, no, that's not 3,000 miles away in Vancouver. But in every city all over the world, like it's like a fan club, Bills backers, it's called. So, like, whatever city. So, like, another one's got a little angle here. We love the angles on this show. Josh Allen, Wyoming. Right next door, bro. This is as close as college home as he can get. And I had a guest on. I realized this week. The Bills are so big in Wyoming because of Josh Allen. They air the Bills games on local radio, Scott.
Wow.
Yeah, they pick up the WGR feed. Yeah, like they're all in. And in fact, like Cowboy Nation, the Wyoming Cowboy fans, they're all going to the game. And they're supporting the Bills. So, like, you got all these little cool little stories and stuff like this. And I love the angle of this. And, you know, this is sentimental stuff. But so this is his college homecoming game. Next to Wyoming, as close as you can get. There's only one stadium he hasn't played in his NFL career, Josh Allen. One stadium. San Francisco.
Oh.
Santa Clara, where the Super Bowl is, which is his hometown game. It's his hometown game. So think about the synergy if he would be able to win a Super Bowl and look back and say, wow, I actually won in Denver in front of all my buddies from Wyoming. And then I won the Super Bowl in my home. Like, he's not from San Francisco, but he's from the Bay Area, etc. Right? He grew up a Niner fan. Like, he's from out there. So it's not like he's from downtown San Francisco, but like he's actually from like the farmland, the sticks type area out there, closer to like Fresno, like that sort of area. But he is a Niner fan. That's technically his home game. I just get the feeling too that he won't be denied. He just got married to the Haley Steinfeld there, who is hot. I don't know what she's on, but she is hot. This guy's life will just be complete with a Super Bowl if he can pull it off. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if he can pull this off, man. He's just so popular. Like, people that aren't even Bills fans like him, right? The only thing is, you go out, you watch a game. It's like being at a game, or if you're in a bar watching a game and it's really loud, there's a bunch of people. I'm not going to be as dialed in with my in-game bets. That's the thing I don't like about it. It's the only thing going out to watch a game. Like, from a betting purposes, you kind of know, like.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah,
I'll say this too for him.
If you're having a couple of drinks too, like, don't get crazy. Like, put your bets, the prop bets in before the game and live with them. Don't start chasing during the game, you know?
You'll start hitting $50 bets, accidentally $500 bets, you know?
Oh, I've done it. For me, Scott, it turns into 2,000 and stuff. Trust me. Like, I did it. I've done it. Like, you know, after feeling pretty good at things about the half and, a couple of drinks. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to put another 1,200 on that. Let's go. Next thing you know, it loses.
That happened to me this weekend. I don't know if I told you the story. So I'm doing some refereeing. I do AAU basketball refereeing, right, in the mornings on Saturdays. So I do 3-4 games, and I missed the 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock games, or at least they're already underway by the time I get back to the house, right? So I get back to the house this past weekend, and what was the game? So a noon game. I forget some, America East game or something stupid like that. I love the under, right? So I get home, Gabe. I rush. I put it in. A $50 bet. The game's already underway. But the computer site that I use, it kicks back like FanDuel does all the time. You got to hit it like 5 times before the bet actually gets in, right? Because all the lines are adjusting. So I hit it, boom, take a shower, and then I start doing in-game live, and I log back onto my site, and it's about $400 more than it should be. I'm like, did I forget about an NFL feature or something?
Because you kept clicking it? Yeah, it kept going through?
No, not that it kept going through. But it reverts back to it that like they have separate bets of like 50, 500, 5,000. That automatically goes to it. Then you have to change it. So I was putting it in for 50, and it turns out it went through for 500. So I made an extra $450. Of course, I pissed it all the way by the end of the night. But that said, it does happen every once in a while. That stuff does happen in your favor. So
so now next time you feel terrible after a mistake, which inevitably will happen again, you can sort of remember, okay, I did
balance it off. I did do this.
I've been screwed over by mistakes more than lucky breaks. I've had a few of them over the years where the lucky break. I had the worst one was the 250 but 2,500 one. That was a bad one. That was devastating. Like it was just because I didn't know. Like, that was the problem. Like, I was going 250, 250, 250 all the time during the NBA playoffs. Like, I just that was my, so I was like 250, 250. Like, I don't know what happened, Scott. I put an extra freaking 0 on it. Yeah, and I'll never forget, it was the Knicks and the Pacers. And I didn't know. Like, the whole game. Normally I would look or whatever. For whatever reason, there were a bunch of games going on. I never sort of looked at, and it actually lost. So, and I was mad about the 250 losing, Scott. So imagine. So it was there was 2 minutes left in the game type thing. There was 2 minutes left in the game, and I sort of looked. I was like, wow, this isn't going to win. And I sort of started to look at my account a bit, and then I see the extra 0. And I'm like, I wanted to throw up, bro. Like, I sort of panicked. And I looked, and I was like, oh, my God. Then I was mad at myself because I was like, not only did you make the mistake, but if you would have known at the half, or if you would have known, you could have figured something out here, right? Yeah. So then I was freaked out. I was like, I got a minute and a half left, so I'm looking at the in game, Scott, and I'm like, I can't do this. Like, I can't like get it back in like a minute,
Right.
a minute and a half. So I was like, oh, I was depressed for like a week, 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie, like it really bothered me. So then there was 2 ways of going about it. I was like, all right, what can I do here? So I did the real degenerate way out of it, Scott. I just went hardcore. I was like, you know what? Instead of 250, I'm going 1,000 right now. This next gamble, I was hell bent on getting it back. I was hell bent. Like the next day, I was
That's
like, yeah,
dangerous.
I was like, I'm gonna get it all back like today or tomorrow. Like I sort of put in my head 2 days. 2 days, you're gonna get this back, and just pretend it never happened before. And I didn't get it all back, but I went on a nice little run there and stuff. But it bothered me. The only thing is that was positive about it is I did win. I remember I won, and I was betting bigger units, and I was like, I wouldn't have put the bigger units unless I lost. But mistakes suck, man. Like, you know, with the extra zero, it's the one good thing about being at a casino. That can't happen. You can't accidentally bet too much cash money at the window. They won't accept the bet. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's kind of like you can't, you know, whatever it is. It's wild. We'll talk about it on the other side. Did you know that people bet 8 times more their unit on credit if you're betting with a bookie?
I believe it.
You'll bet 8 times more. I'm telling you guys, you think like you bet bigger and stuff, it's a real man check when you're at the window with cash.
Yeah.
It just seems like
That's
more.
the real place.
Yeah, when you're busting out $100 bills, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're like, oh my God, I'm betting a lot on this game. When you're in front of a computer, it's easy to be reckless.
Yeah. Great. All right, more coming up in Game Live.
The outline for Koepka are fantastic. I think it's perfect. It is punitive, but it's fair. You've got to levy some sort of fine, so to speak, for defecting, and I think they've done a wonderful job of being equitable and punishing him a bit at the same time. I think Brooks ultimately wants to be playing with the best.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
New York Giants. They fired their head coach, Brian Daboll. Now, they did that during the season. Harbaugh is the favorite by a wide margin. Looking at Kalshi right now, Joe, 56% chance. 56 that he's the coach. The guy behind him is Kevin Stefanski at 25%. Does this look like it's just a Harbaugh spot? And if not, why is Harbaugh waiting until Monday? Does he want to see if something else opens up? But it looks like he's the heavy favorite and probably will get the job.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Memphis is shopping John Morant. Yeah, no kidding. They should have shopped him 2 years ago and got rid of him. The problem is, where does he go? Like, what team is going to sit there and deal with a dude who, A, has not been healthy or reliable both on the court or off the court? Like, who's trading for John Morant here, Coach?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Hi, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the Grid. Scott and Gabe. Yeah, but mistakes happen, folks. We were talking about that before the break. We've been doing this, Gabe and I both been doing it for 30, 40 years plus, right? And you still make mistakes, and you still kick yourself and like, how did I do that? I mean, you bet the under when you mean the over. Yeah, to win that way, the window would be tough. I don't know how you'd pull that one off. How do you do that?
Wrong rotation number.
You give the number. Yeah, it's right. You
couple of drinks, bro. You're doing it fast. Yeah. It's right before kickoff. You're looking at the tote board and like, And you're like, oh, yeah, give me bet 9, 8, 4, 4, 4, 4, 3. And you know what I mean? You're like, damn, I got the under instead of the over. Like, I didn't want that. You know what I mean? They tell you, check your tickets, right? You can cancel it at the window. If you screw up at a Vegas casino or Atlantic City or a FanDuel Sportsbook somewhere, you can cancel the ticket, guys. So, but you've got to do it immediately. You can't walk away from the window, essentially. Like, you've got to get the ticket and go, oh, listen, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. And they can void it on the spot. You can't, like, walk away and come back 10 minutes later and say, oh, I made a mistake. It's too late. Like, you've got to, like,
what was it?
You cannot leave the window. Like, you can correct it right away. But if you don't look, and, well, we've all done it. I've done it where I'm like, oh, my God, what did I do? What was it? You know what I mean? It happens.
What was the name of the kid we used to have when you and I did the show over at FanDuel in Jersey? And we'd send the producer, he would be our runner to make our bets. What was his name? You remember? And he'd always come back with the wrong ticket. Yeah.
Oh, no, that was Bad Beat Brian. He screwed me. Yeah, nice kid, Bad Beat Brian. But I used to tell him, I'd be on the air, and I'd be like, all right, listen, and you got to run. And I'd see there's no line and stuff. And I'd be like, all right, here's the odds. Here's the money. I give him like $100 bill. And I go, all right, run to the window and bet this right now. And I'd look over, and he wouldn't be in line and stuff. He'd come back, bro, and it'd be like minus 450. I'm like, dude, it was like, or I'd come back and be like minus 12.5 points. I'm like, when I sent you, it was minus 3.5. Like, and I found out that he forgot, and he was scared to tell me. So he just did it, like stuff like that. So then I started to write it down. The other was Window Will. Yeah, Window Will was good. Window Will was fast. Yeah, Window Will. Will was my man.
Even he would
Will,
go back.
Like, Will would write it down, though. I used to, like, Will would write it down, and Will, like, I'd see Will, dude. He'd be like knocking old man over for me, Scott, at Meadowlands. He'd be like, I'd see him running like through people to get in line and stuff. That'd be Brian would like drop my, like, he'd forget, he'd lose the slip. Like, it was like he'd come back with bad numbers. So that's how I called him Bad Beat Brian. I was like, you're just a bad beat, bro. Like, you just kill me every time. Like, you know. I used to run to the kiosk during commercial breaks. I used to run. You remember, like, we were sitting in the lobby and they had the kiosk right behind our side. So, like, I used to, if there wasn't a line, I would look at the commercial break and I'd run over to the kiosk, bam, 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 bam. I'd get back to the chair in time. But sometimes I would be on the air and I'd be like, I got to get the bet in. So here, you got to go to the window.
Yeah. Window Will. Yeah, he was good.
Window Will. Yeah, nice kid. Back. Both of them were nice, but Bad Beat Brian was not, his job is not a runner. I'll tell you that. Like, if he was running for the mob, he'd get killed.
He'd be dead. He'd be 6 feet under.
They tell him, we gave you $118,000 to put on Seton Hall. You came back with the Paul. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the hell? You're dead. Like, you're dead, man. I could just see, like, the look on a runner to be like, what the hell? He's such a nice kid, though. It's hard to get too mad at him. But speaking of DePaul, we got a 44-44 game right now with Marquette. Ohio, though, huh? Down by 6.
Not 6. They come back too. That's why I said sometimes it's not the worst thing in the world.
Now. I think they come back and win. They're chipping away. They're down by 6. They're plus 172 I got right now. I'm going to jump in.
Vandal's got 154. That's still not too bad. Yeah, sometimes, it's hard to beat a team from start to finish. So it's not the worst thing in the world sometimes to have your team that you're betting on be trailing early on. So
I got 2 more picks, actually, on 190 right now. Yeah, so I got the 2 more picks, and they come up at 10 o'clock Eastern here. We're mixing it up. I pride myself on the fact, as people know, not too many people bet on different leagues or those type of things, but let's get into some National Lacrosse League action tonight. Some NLL soccer, some NLL lacrosse, and we got soccer MLS is going to be coming up around the corner. But now that the football season is wrapping up, these sports are going to start to take, you got college basketball, but we'll get more into the TGL golf, like all these sort of other leagues. But we got a couple of weird situations here tonight. So, like, starting off in Vancouver. The Vancouver Warriors of the NLL, they're actually good this year. Normally they're not, but they got good last year, and they're good once again this year. They're 3-1. They played 4 games. They're in 3rd place in the overall league. They've outscored teams 41-35 in their 4 games, so they got a 6-goal differential in their 4 games. And tonight they're hosting the San Diego Seals. The San Diego Seals, ironically, are owned by the Brooklyn Net owner, the rich guy, the Sal guy that owns everything. He owns this team. Right. The San Diego Seals. They're 1-3 on the season, Scott. They've been outscored by 14 goals. 50, like they're a real 1-3. They've been outscored 55-41 to start the season so far. They're on the road in Vancouver. Vancouver draws well. Like the arena, not sold out, but like they draw like 10, 12,000, whatever. Like it's popular. And they have a theme night. It's like country music night tonight. And their theme nights always do really well. I don't understand why Vancouver's a pick 'em here at minus 120. So give me the Vancouver Warriors at minus 120. And this next one, Scott, I fell for. This is what you and I talk about with sports books. You got to put neutral, guys, but I didn't know. So the Calgary Roughnecks are playing at 10 o'clock Eastern tonight. They're 1-4 on the season, and they're playing the Georgia Swarm, who are 2-3 on the year. Yet the Georgia Swarm are like plus 120 underdogs. So and I see at Georgia. I'm like, I don't understand this. Like, why? It turns out the game is in Edmonton, Alberta, but it's technically a Georgia home game. Yeah, the thing is, Scott, though, people in Edmonton hate Calgary. They don't like Calgary.
No.
It's like having a Philadelphia team play a home game in Boston. So I had a Calgary fan respond to me, and he said, "Oh, by the way, the game is in Edmonton." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, the game's," and he goes, "No one's going to go." He goes, "Not like Calgary Roughneck fans are going to go to Edmonton to see this game." So give me the Georgia Swarm. Calgary suck. Give me Georgia.
Right. Australian Open pick coming up next.
Oh, yeah.
The outline for Koepka are fantastic. I think it's perfect. It is punitive, but it's fair. You've got to levy some sort of fine, so to speak, for defecting, and I think they've done a wonderful job of being equitable and punishing him a bit at the same time. I think Brooks ultimately wants to be playing with the best.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
New York Giants. They fired their head coach, Brian Daboll. Now, they did that during the season. Harbaugh is the favorite by a wide margin. Look at a cow sheet right now, Joe. 56% chance. 56 that he's the coach. The guy behind him is Kevin Stefanski at 25%. Does this look like it's just a Harbaugh spot? And if not, why is Harbaugh waiting until Monday? Does he want to see if something else opens up? But it looks like he's the heavy favorite. Will get the job.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Memphis is shopping John Morant. Yeah, no kidding. They should have shopped him 2 years ago and got rid of him. The problem is, where does he go? Like, what team is going to sit there and deal with a dude who, A, has not been healthy or reliable both on the court or off the court? Like, who's trading for John Morant here, Coach?
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Hey, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. Just going over some of these futures here. I will say real quickly before we get to the tennis game, Kansas is still 40-1. If they get Darren Peterson to really want to play ball NCAA tournament time, maybe he's just kind of doing all these goofy issues and my back is sore, my ankle sore, this, that. If they get him to play the NCAA tournament, Kansas, and they're winning by 25 now, they're blowing out Baylor. At 40-1, that 40-1 is not going to last long. Might not be a bad thing to have a ticket on Kansas 40-1. But we do have the Australian Open. Listen, on the men's side at this point, as we were talking in the break, it's either Sinner or Alcaraz. I'd love to be able to put a couple shekels on the Joker. He's 13-1 on FanDuel. But think of it this way, as I was telling you, he would have to beat more than likely Alcaraz and Sinner. And those days are just not happening because he's going to be seeded, 3 or 4? So he's going to have to go through both those guys. Maybe he could pick off one, but to think he's going to beat those guys back-to-back matches at this point of his career, it's not happening. And none of these other guys, they all threaten. They all have their runs. But the bottom line is Sinner's minus 125. I'm going to go with Alcaraz. He's plus 165. He's got a 10-6 matchup advantage over Sinner. Sinner did win the last time. So they've gone kind of back and forth here a little bit, but give me Alcaraz on the men's side at plus 165. It's not a great number. You got to win 6 matches, but in reality, he's probably going to get tested, the finals, semifinals, maybe quarterfinals. Otherwise, the other matches should be a breeze for him.
I think, listen, Sinner, and there's such a drop-off after Sinner and Alcaraz. It drops all the way to the Joker at 12-1, and the Joker just doesn't have enough to, pull this off right now. So it's going to be Sinner or Alcaraz in the men's side. And the women's kind of similar situation. Sabalenka is starting to distance herself right now from the rest of the pack. She's great on this surface. So I'm going to look at a parlay. We're going to keep it simple and not overthink things. Sabalenka to win the women's side and Alcaraz to win the men's side. Plus 618. Plus 618. One thing I don't mind about this, too, is so the women's side would be done first. So let's say, hypothetically, we had Sabalenka wins, and I got a Sinner Alcaraz final after. I could go into that Sunday, Scott, with the plus 618 in my back pocket already. I'm not a big hedger, but I'm just stating that the women's, you would know going into the men potentially, because the women's final is the day before. So you can put yourself in a nice spot. Or you can mix it up, Sabalenka, Alcaraz, Sabalenka, Sinner to win. But I always kick myself, Scott. I always tell myself before these majors, just parlay Sabalenka and Alcaraz. And I always win. And I didn't parlay it. I bet them solo. So I'm going to get this in. Sabalenka, Alcaraz, plus 618.
Yeah. Now, this is a pricey one. But as far as I really don't think you would lose. I really don't. FanDuel's offering you a Sinner Alcaraz parlay. Sinner Alcaraz or the field. If you want Sinner and Alcaraz, you get both. It's minus 650. I know that's a hefty price, but the chances of one of those two guys not winning, I would be real surprised. Even if it was the Joker, who maybe ends up getting into the finals. Who wants to lay 650? Let me see if they allow you to put that in a parlay with Sabalenka. They won't. That's funny. That's they won't. Oh yeah, there it goes. Yeah, but you can't parlay them. No. So who wants to lay minus 650? Nobody, right? But as far as winning a bet, that would be the one. All right. NBA.
We've got big drama in Toronto right now. 109 with the Raptors and Clippers. 21 seconds left, and there's a jump ball at center court. Oh, boy. And the Clippers won the jump ball, and now they've got the ball with 14 seconds here. They can win the game, or the game goes to overtime. James Harden with the ball now. It's not a good spot for the Raptors to be in here. And Harden misses the shot. Wants the foul. He did his little Harden thing, begging for a foul. They didn't give it to him. We're going to overtime in Toronto. 109.
Overtime. Game will go over. Nets and Bulls went under. Not by a lot. We had to survive a 60-point fourth quarter, but the Nets win 112-109. Nets are turning into an absolute automatic under team. Bulls are now 9-4 under. It was 225.5. I like that one a lot. So late night picks, I'm going to grab a degenerate special. Give me Sacramento laying the 7.5 against the Washington Wizards. They're starting to play better basketball.
We gave you the lacrosse, Georgia Swarm, and the Vancouver Warriors. And as far as college basketball, it's 10:30 Eastern time. Colorado State plus 5.5, and Colorado State and Boise State over 138.5. Let's rock. Go Bills.
There you go. Go Bills. Let's go.
Bills win 27-24.
All right. Well, for you, I hope so.